Welcome back to my new video lecture. Myself, Professor Pinkesh J. Patel from the Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. The journey of this college started in the field of engineering and technology as per the guideline of AICTE, that is the All India Council for Technical Education, New Delhi in 2004, and MGTER is approved by AICTE New Delhi and affiliated to GTU, that is the Gujarat Technological University, Ahmedabad. This institute is located at South Gujarat in peaceful and pollution-free environment of the western region of the country. The MGTER aims to provide value-based education. The motive behind to provide quality technical education at people's doorstep at an affordable cost. Not only studious activities, but there are many extracurricular activities like state level tech fest, different sports activities and cultural activity held during the year at MGTER for the overall improvement of the student. So today I will start with the subject of Power System 1 having a subject code of 3140914 BE 3rd year 5th sem. So already we have started with the chapter main components of the overhead lines, conductor materials, line supports, insulators, types of insulators, string efficiency, methods of improving string efficiency, sag in overhead lines and calculation of the sag. So in the last lecture we have discussed about main components of the overhead lines, conductor materials, line supports, insulator and types of insulator. So in the today's lecture we will start with the string efficiency. So today I will start with the topic of string efficiency. So already we have discussed that the voltage applied across the string of the suspension insulator is not uniform due to the presence of shunt capacitance. The disc nearest to the conductor has a much higher potential than the other disc. The unequal potential distribution is undesirable and is expressed in terms of string efficiency. The definition of the string efficiency is that the ratio of voltage across the whole string to the product of number of discs and the voltage across the disc nearest to the conductor is known as the string efficiency. Mathematically, it should be written as string efficiency, that is equal to voltage across the string divided by n into voltage across the disc nearest to the conductor, where n is the number of discs in the string. So this is the definition of the string efficiency. Now before going for the mathematical expression, we will say that there are some of the importance point regarding to the string efficiency. So string efficiency is an important consideration that decides the potential distribution along the strings. The greater the string efficiency, the voltage across the each disc will be exactly the same. Although it is impossible to achieve 100% string efficiency, so to get the such kind of efforts, we have to apply improve the string efficiency as possible very nearer to the 100%. Now we will go for the mathematical expression. So firstly just see the figure. In that case here there is a one of the conductor and here that is the cross arm which is locating over there, and there are different types of point which is already mentioned inside the figure. So we will say that C that is considered as a self capacitance or mutual capacitance, C1 that is considered as a shunt capacitance, then the voltage across the individual discs that is given by V1, V2 and V3 likewise, and the total voltage that is given by the V. There is a one more parameter that is the fraction, so that we will say that C1 is equal to K into C. C1 that is stand for the C1 that is considered as a self shunt capacitance, that is equal to K into C, where C is the self or self capacitance, or we will say that mutual capacitance. Now we will go for the applying the Kirchhoff current law at the individual point. So applying the Kirchhoff's current law to the node A, we have to apply the Kirchhoff's KCL at node number A. So we will write if we will applying the KCL, that is the statement of the KCL is that algebraic sum of the current entering or leaving the node must be equal capital I1 plus small I1. Now there is a one equation for the if if we will say that I is equal to V by R, but in terms of AC circuit we will write I is equal to V by XC, V by XC, and having XC is equal to 1 upon omega C. So at the end I2 I that is become V into omega C. So that's why we will write the equation for the I2 is equal to V2 omega C is equal to V1 omega C plus V1 omega C1. Same way, just try to put the value of C1 that is equal to Kc. Just try to put the value of C1 that is equal to Kc over here, because already we have take the one assumptions, that is C1 is equal to Kc. C1 is equal to Kc. So V2 omega C is equal to V1 omega C plus V1 omega Kc. So if we will write the equation in terms of V2 and V1, so we will get the equation of V2 is equal to V1 1 plus K, and just give the equation number 1. Then after just applying the Kirchhoff's current law at the node number B, so we will write the equation I3 is equal to I2 plus I2. Now again try to write down the equation in terms of omega and V3. So we will get the equation of V3 omega C is equal to V2 omega C, and I2 is equal to here we have to assume I2 that is the combination of two voltages V1 and V2. So we will write V1 plus V2 and omega C1 that is as it is. Then after V3 omega C, V2 omega C plus V1 plus V2 omega and C1 3 is equal to V2 plus V1 plus V2 into K. Again try to solve the equation. So we will get the equation of K, V3 is equal to K V1 plus V2 in the bracket 1 plus K. Now in that equation just put the value of V2 is equal to whatever the V2 over here. So V2 is equal to just put V1 into 1 plus K. So we will get the equation of K V1 that is as it is plus V1 into 1 plus K, and again 1 plus K that is multiply with the 1 plus K, so it can become the 1 plus K whole square. Then again try to solve the equation. So we will get the answer V1 K plus 1 plus K whole square. Again try to resolve the equation. So final equation, that is the V3 is equal to V1 plus V1 in the bracket 1 plus 3K plus K square, and just give the equation number 2. Now the voltage between the conductor and the earth, that is given by V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. In that equation just put the value of V2 and V3. So V1 that is as it is, V1 that is as it is, V2 that is replaced by V1 in the bracket 1 plus K, and V3 that is replaced by V1 1 plus 3K plus K square. Again if we will solve this equation, so we will get the answer of V1 in the bracket 3 plus 4K plus K square. Again just take the factor of that equation. So we will get the equation of V is equal to V1 in the bracket 1 plus K, and second one that is the 3 plus K. So from the expression of equation number 1, 2 and 3, from the equation this is the equation number 2, this is the equation number 3. So from the expression of 1, 2 and 3, we will write the equation, that is V1 by 1 is equal to V2 upon 1 plus K, that is equal to V3 upon 1 plus 3K plus K square, that is equal to V upon 1 plus K and 3 plus K. This is the relation in between total voltage and the voltage across the individual disc, that is the V1, V2 and V3. So in this way we will solve the any voltage across the any disc. Now the voltage across the top unit, because top unit, that is the V1, and top unit having voltage across the voltage across that disc, that is given by V1. So we will write the equation, that is V1 is equal to V upon 1 plus K and 3 plus K. Likewise, if our aim to voltage across the second unit, then we will write V2 is equal to V1 plus V2 is equal to V1 in the bracket 1 plus K, and voltage across the third unit, then we will write V3 is equal to V1 in the bracket 1 plus 3K plus K square. So likewise, finally we will say that percentage string efficiency that is equal to voltage across the string divided by N into voltage across the disc nearest to the conductor into 100%. So voltage across the string that is given by V into N, and that is the number of discs. So in the figure having a total of 3 discs, so we will write 3 into voltage across the disc nearest to the conductor. So conductor, that is over here, and disc nearest 100. So this is the equation for this percentage string efficiency. Now from this equation we will get the sum of the point, so that we will discuss over here. So if K is equal to 0.2, if we will assume K is equal to 0.2, then the from the last equation we will say that V2 is equal to 1.2 V1 and V3 is equal to 1.64 V1. This is the two term that we will if we will put the just value of K is equal to 0.2, so we will get the equation V2 is equal to 1.2 V1 and V3 is equal to 1.64 V1. So from this equation it is clear that the disc nearest to the conductor has the maximum voltage across it, whereas the voltage across the disc in the decreasing order as the cross arm we will reach at the cross arm. Second point is that the greater the value of K, that is the K is equal to C1 by C, the more uniform is the potential across the disc and the lesser is the string efficiency. And third point that we will get from the above equation, that the inequality in the voltage distribution increases with the increase of the number of discs in the string. Therefore, shorter string has more efficiency than the larger one. So these are the sum of the point that we will get from the above expression. Now we will go for the methods of improving string efficiency. So there are number of methods which can be used for the improving the string efficiency. So it is clear that potential distribution in the string of suspension insulator is not uniform because of presence of shunt capacitance. The maximum voltage if the insulation of the highest stress insulator, that is the nearest to the conductor, it should be in the breaking condition, or it should be a breakdown or flashover take place in the disc nearer to the conductor, the breakdown of the other units will take place in the all the discs. The necessities to equalize the potential across the various units of the string, or to improve the string efficiency, there are a number of methods which can be used. So there are 3 methods which can be used. First one, using longer cross arm. Second one, that is the grading of insulated disc, and third one by using or guard or grading ring. So we will discuss individual method in the deeply. So we will start with the using longer cross arm, which can be used for the improving the string efficiency. So figure shows the use of the longer cross arm, which can be used for to improving the string efficiency. So the value of string efficiency, that is depend upon the value of K, that is the ratio of shunt capacitance to the mutual capacitance. The lesser the value of K, the greater is the string efficiency and more uniform is the voltage distribution. The value of K can be in the decrease by reducing the shunt capacitance. So in order to reduce the shunt capacitance, the distance of the conductor from the lowest must be in the increasing order. That is, the longer cross arm that should be used. Therefore, limitations of cost and strength of the tower do not allow the use of very long cross arm. Of that method we will try to reduce the value of K, and if the value of K that is in the decreasing order, so we will say that having a shunt capacitance that is also in the decreasing order. So for that we will go through a longer cross arm. Second one, that is the by grading the insulator. So in this method, by grading of the insulator disc, so in this method insulators of different dimensions can be used that each has a different capacitance. The insulators are capacitance which are graded, that is, they are assembled in the string in such a way that the top unit has the maximum capacitance in the increasing and it can be in the increasing order as the bottom unit, that is the disc nearest to the conductor, it should be reached. Since the voltage is inversely proportional to the capacitance, this method which can be used to equalize the potential distribution across the units in the string. This method has the disadvantage that a large number of different size insulators are required. However, good result can be obtained by using a standard insulator for most of the string and larger units for that nearer to the line conductor. And third one, that is the by using a guard ring. So figure shows by using a grading ring which can be used for the improving the string efficiency. So having a one link, that is the potential across each unit in the string can be equalized by using a guard ring, that is the one kind of metal ring which can be provided nearer to the conductor surrounding metal fittings and the line conductor. The guard ring is controlled in such a way that shunt capacitance current, that is the I1 I2, are equal to metal fitting line capacitance current, that is the I1 dash and I2 dash. The result is that same charging current I flows through the each unit of the string. Consequently, we will say that there will be a uniform potential distribution across the each units. So this is the method of the grading ring which can be used for the improving the string efficiency. So there are some of the important points that we will get from the methods of improving string efficiency. While solving the problems relating to the string efficiency, first point that we will get the maximum voltage across the disc nearest to the conductor, that is the line conductor. And second point, that is the voltage across the string that is equal to the phase voltage. So we will write the equation voltage across string that is equal to voltage between line and earth, that is equal to phase voltage. So line voltage that is equal to root 3 into voltage across the string. So this is the equation that we will get from the string efficiency. Now we will go for the next theory, that is sag in the overhead transmission line. So firstly, very most important point, that is the sag. So firstly we will start with the introduction. So while erecting an overhead line, it is very important that conductors are under safe tension condition. If the conductors are too much in the stretch in between the two supports, the stress in the conductor may reach to the individual pore. In order to permit safe tension in the conductor, they are not fully straight, but they are allowed having some kind of sag. So we will go for the definition of this sag. The difference in level between the points of supports and the lowest point on the conductor is called a sag, or second name, that is the dip. So figure shows the conductor suspended between two supports, that is the A and B. So in the figure number 1, both the towers which is locating at the same level, and the lowest point of the conductor, that is O. So from the lowest point of the conductor, that is O, to the any supports and whatever the vertical distance, that is considered as a sag, and whatever the curve that is come, or whatever the shape that is come over there, that is considered as a catenary curve. However, if the sag is very small compared with the span, then sag span curve is likely to be like a parabola. The tension at any point on the conductor which is act as a tangentially. Thus, tension TO at the lowest point O act as horizontally, as shown in figure 2 also. The horizontal component of the tension is constant throughout the length of the wire. The tension at support is approximately equal to the horizontal tension acting at any point on the wire. Thus, if T is the tension at support B, then we will write T is equal to T0 or TO. So, this is the sag that should be come inside the category of the overhead line. So, this is an important consideration in the mechanical design of the overhead line. There are 3 parameters that should become sag, and to avoid extra pole height for the sufficient clearance above ground level. So it is also desirable that tension in the conductor should be low to avoid the mechanical failure of the conductor and to permit the use of less strong supports. So these are the some of the points which can be remembered for the sag in the overhead line. Now we will go for the calculation of the sag. In calculation of the sag, so in an overhead line, the sag should be adjusted that tension in the conductor is within a safe limits. So the tension is governed by conductor weight, effect of wind and ice loading, and temperature variation condition. So there are 2 types of condition that we have to be remembered whenever we will go for the calculation of the sag. First one, case number 1, that is the, when the conductor supports are at equal levels, and case number 2, when the conductor supports are at unequal level. So this is the case number 1, when the conductor supports are at equal level. We will see inside the figure that A and B, which are the points which is locating at the tower at the same point, and the lowest point of the conductor, that is the O. The horizontal T, that is considered as a tension in the conductor, W, that is considered as the weight per unit length of the conductor, L, that is considered as the length of the span, and S, that is considered as a sag. Consider a point P on the conductor which is mentioned inside the figure. Taking the lowest point O as the origin, let the coordinates like X, so there are 2 points that we will get from the figure. The weight Wx of the conductor acting at a distance of x by 2, from the point number O, and the tension T acting at point number O, that is already shown inside the figure. So let us take at any point and assuming O as the origin and having a 2 points. So if we will try to compare the equation, so we will get the equation of T into Y, that is equal to Wx into x by 2, So we will write the Y is equal to, Wx square by 2t, So the maximum sag is represented by the value of Y at the either of the supports. It may be a support A or it may be a support B. Then we will put x is equal to L by 2. Just put the x is equal to L by 2 in the equation number 1, and Y is equal to S. So we will get the equation of sag or S is equal to WL square by AT. WL square by AT. So this is the equation which is important for the important when we will consider when the conductor supports are at equal level. This is the calculation of the sag. Now consider case number 2, that is when supports are at unequal levels. So most probably in the hilly areas we generally come across the conductor suspended so such kind of figure which is already shown inside the figure. So point number B at the higher top, and A that is at the bottom top. So and the O is the lowest point of the conductor. So there are different types of parameter which is already mentioned inside the figure. So L is the span length, H is the difference in level between two supports, x1 is the distance of support at lower level, that is A, from point number O, and x2 that is distance of support at higher level, that is B, from point number O, and T that is the tension in the conductor. Now if W is the weight per unit length of the conductor, if W is the weight per unit length of the conductor, then we will write S1 is equal to Wx1 square divided by 2t, and same way we will write S2 is equal to Wx2 square divided by 2t. There is a one more parameter, that is x1 plus x2 that is equal to L, that is already we will get from the L. L is equal to we will write x1 summation of these two parameter x1 plus x2. Now just take the difference in between two span S1 and S2. So we will write the equation and just take the difference. So S1 minus S2 is equal to W by 2t in the bracket x1 square minus x2 square. W by 2t that is as it is x1 minus x2 and x1 plus x2. But we know that x1 plus x2 that is equal to L. X1 plus x2 is equal to L. So just put the value of L by 2t that is as it is, and x1 minus xt. So x1 minus x2 that is equal to, we will write the equation 2 by s1 minus s2 divided by into t divided by wl. So x1 minus x2 is equal to 2ht divided by wl, because how we will get the equation x1 minus x2 is equal to 2ht divided by, because in short we will write the equation s1 minus s2 that is equal to h, s2 minus s1 minus s2 that is equal to, we will write the h. So x1 minus x2 that is equal to 2ht divided by wl, as s1 minus s2 is equal to h. So x1 minus x2 is equal to 2ht divided by wl, and just give the equation number 3. So solving the equation number 2 and 3, we will get the equation for the x1 and x2. x1 is equal to L by 2 minus th divided by wl, and x2 is equal to L by 2 plus th by wl. So if we will find the value of x1 and s2, if we will know the value s1 and s2, we will get the value of s1 and s2 easily. Now we will go for the there is a one more parameter which is attached with the calculation of the sag, that is the effect of wind and ice loading. So whenever we will go for the calculation of the sag, we must consider the parameter of ice coating, then wind pressure and temperature also. So in practice, direction in the same direction as the weight of the conductor, the force due to the wind is assumed as horizontally. So in short we will say that ice coating that is considered as a vertical pressure, whereas wind pressure that is considered as a horizontal pressure. So we will get the equation of total weight of conductor per unit length, that is given by Wt is equal to square root of Wi plus W whole square plus Ww square, where W is the weight of conductor per unit length, Wi that is considered as the weight of ice per unit length, and Ww that is considered as a wind force per unit length. So these are the different types of parameters which is attached with the calculation of the sag, in which we will consider the effect of wind as well as ice loading condition. So this is the completion of the topic of calculation of sag. Now we will go for the some of the question related to the GTU papers. So already we have discussed that inside the previous lecture, whatever the theory that we have finished based on the sum of the question, like name the important components of an overhead transmission line. Second one, that is they discuss the various conductor material used for the overhead lines. What are their relative advantages and disadvantages. Third one, why are insulator used with overhead lines? Discuss the desirable properties of the insulator. Fourth one, that is they discuss the advantages and disadvantages of the pin type insulator and suspension type insulator. So that is the question related to the various method of improving string efficiency. And sixth one, that is they deduce an approximate expression for sag in overhead lines when supports are locating at the equal level and supports are at unequal levels. So from today's lecture we will completing the question number of 5 and 6. So from today's lecture we will learn about string efficiency. What is the role of the string efficiency? Then what are the different types of method which can be used for improving the string efficiency? Then the sag in the overhead lines, then calculation of this sag. It may be supports are locating at the same level or supports are locating at the other or unequal levels. So in the next lecture we will go for the electrical design of the overhead transmission line, in which we will discuss about the different types of points, that is the constant of a transmission line, resistance of a transmission line, what is the role of the inductance, what is the role of the capacitance. So that we will discuss in the next lecture. So in the today's lecture we will finishing this chapter number 5, that is the mechanical design of overhead transmission line. So from the next lecture we will start with the new chapter, that is the transmission line design. Thank you.